So, hey guys, welcome to day 5 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Improvement Week, and today we're just going to simply categorize effects by, well, if they're useful or not, and there's a very simple breakdown or thought process that you can use to determine if an effect is good or not, or if it's worth worrying about or not. So, very broadly speaking, all of the cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, the ones with effects anyways, can be categorized in one of two ways. So we'll just open up with, I don't know, let's say Gribo, and we'll grab, what's a fun one? I don't know. Let's say Rosin, sure. So broadly speaking, the two different types of effects are ones that move cards and ones that don't. So the ones that don't are typically not very relevant or not very good. And using the term move cards is very broadly speaking here. So in terms of moving cards, Kribo doesn't really move a card. So uh, if it's for cost, I wouldn't really count it. If it's for effect, that's when the effect is relevant in general. So with Kribo, all we do is we discard Kribo and we don't take battle damage from that battle. With a card like Rosin or a multitude of cards, this card right here, Vanquish Soul Rosin, moves arguably, I would say, 2 cards. So if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one non-warrior Vanquish Soul monster from your deck to your hand. So that's moving a card from your deck to your hand, essentially. And then this effect over here, destroy all other monsters in this card's column. This effect here is essentially moving a monster from the field to the graveyard, which is also beneficial. And in general, whenever you have a card that moves another card from one location to another, it is just going to, in general, be useful for one reason or another. And you know what? Not only would it be useful, it would be the only type of effect with an impact, pretty much, because the ones that don't move a card from somewhere, in general, will not be building you advantage. The only rare kind of card that would, well, kind of bypass this rule would be maybe something that would increase its attack by a lot, but then, even then, you could argue you would be able to move your opponent to the Shadow Realm, or perhaps move their cards to the graveyard by battle because of an attack increase. So that's just a roundabout way of moving a card, or in this case, a person, to the graveyard. But either way, if we were to break down all of the removal effects, we look at send to the graveyard, return to the hand, return to the deck, banish a card, send a card to the graveyard, destroy a card, whatever. All of these effects are moving a monster from the main monster zone, or the field, I guess, to the graveyard, the banish pile, back to the deck, back to the hand, just wherever. They're just essentially just moving from one location to another. And then there's also the search effects, which is essentially moving a card from deck to hand, from hand to field, from deck to field. That's essentially special summoning for you as well. And then from deck to graveyard, and then graveyard to field. All of that is broadly just moving a card from one location to another. So in general, when you're looking for cards and trying to figure out what the relevant effects are to you, just think, is this moving any of my cards? Is it moving any of my opponent's cards? And then you can evaluate how beneficial it is, because a card that moves one card leads to another card that moves another card, and then all of a sudden your opponent has a lot of cards that move cards, or you have well, no cards left in hand that do anything. In general, we have that. And then I guess Also in that category, I suppose, is, well, there is one more category of cards actually. Now that I think about it, there are the cards that stop you from moving cards. So, floodgates, essentially. So it just prohibits an action. I guess that kind of falls into the other category, and that's probably the most relevant non-movement cards. Much better than Kribo, I guess. But yeah, we can use this logic to kind of figure out if any card has, I guess, a relevant effect. So let's just randomly go, I don't know, link, water, and then let's see. Is this relevant? What relevant effects do we have here? So we have ignition effect. You can target one water monster you control and one card your opponent controls, return them to the hand. So in this case, this is moving your card back to the hand, and it's also moving their card back to the hand. So in this case, you'd be able to trigger the effect again by resummoning whatever water monster you add back to the hand. So that effect, very relevant. And then this other effect, this is negate that activated effect. Wait, what? What does this do? Hold up. During your opponent's West Ball or Trap card or effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can special summon one of your Marincess monster cards equipped to this card if you negate that activated effect. So this is not only a negate, but it will allow you to special summon a Marincess card, and that is essentially just building advantage once again. So in this case, you would be moving a Marincess card from your spell and trap zone to the field, or well, the main monster zone, I guess. And I'm not 100% sure if there are any Marincesses that can actually trigger from this. But I mean, bodies are bodies at the very least, so there's that. And I guess negates are kind of a different category, but in general, most negates, they don't just negate. We have like negate destroy. In case of like Yugioh the Absolute Zero Mayakashi here, we have negate and then turn attack points to 0. So kind of awkward, but you know, for the most part, negates will also be a form of removal. Just inherently, for the most part. There are some exceptions to this, but I'd say the majority do like negate destroy, negate banish, negate shuffle back in deck, versus just normally negate and then do nothing. Negate lower attack or something. We have that. And I guess we can also put negates in the other category and think of them like cards that prevent you from moving cards. So I guess that's kind of relevant as well. So we have essentially cards that might as well do nothing, cards that prevent you from moving cards, and then cards that move cards. And yeah, only two of these three really matter for the most part as of currently. And I would boldly say that flip effects, very situational if they're usable at all. Like if we're just flipping a monster face down. This is just way too complicated to get into, but you know, the gist of it would be that flipping a monster face down would prevent certain summoning mechanics from being utilized, and then there's also ignition effects not being able to be activated, except if you're actually going second, in which case the monster could be flipped back face up and then use its ignition effect. Or if it were to use its ignition effect and you were to chain Book of Moon, that would also do nothing. So it's like incredibly awkward. But yeah, I'd say for the most part right now, flip effects kind of suck. And yeah, there's really not much else to it, is there? So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.